Good to see you, honestly. And we have Adikarta, Hare Krishna. We have Bhakta Michael. How are you, Michael? Okay. And we have Uday, who's a regular now. Rohini, Krishna Shanti. We have Arjuna, right? And we also have Shashvata. Great. And who else is there? Can everybody show their faces? If it's possible.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Voice of Srila Prabhupada. So nice to see you. You're back from India?
Yes, Maharaj, last week.
Oh, I hope you had a good time. Good. Okay, so listen, I guess we should just get started then. All right, everyone. I'll just give you a little report. I'm in the East Coast. We went to a big wedding, and then we did an initiation the next day with one devotee, and we've been. We're launching our book, right? The Saffron Path, and we did it in 2 malls, and we had a library, which was really successful. And not a lot of people are coming, but most people are just taking a book. And yeah, we did Harinam in a place called Antigonish. Now it sounds like people don't like Ganesh, so it's called Antigonish. It's a really strange place, but it's quiet. There's a lot of students who go to this college town. Well, you can try it out, but it wasn't working. Now I look like the sun god, so that doesn't work. And what else did we do? I'm with superstar Ryan. You want to show yourself? Behind my shoulder.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And he's
Accept my humble obeisances.
he's a little bit of a rascal. Let's say like maybe 20%. The rest is like purely talented and lots of bhakti. Yeah, that's good. And we're staying at the family in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. Tomorrow we go to what's the name of the place? Moncton. It's for monks, right? Okay, there's going to be lightning flashes once in a while. The light goes out, but I'll turn it on. So we should get started. Everyone, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Pranamani Namaste Saraswati Charini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Shatarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gadadha Shiva Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Jnana Timirandasya
Om Ajnana Timirandasya
Jnananjana Shalakaya
Jnananjana Shalakaya
Chakshurun Militang Yena
Chatsarum Vidam Jnana
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
I was born in the darkest ignorance.
I was born in the darkest ignorance,
My spiritual master opened my eyes
and my spiritual master opened my eyes
with the torch of knowledge.
with the torch of knowledge.
I offer my respectful obeisance unto him.
I offer my respectful obeisance unto him.
All right, thank you so much. So we'll go ahead with where we left off from last week. And I guess, Dharma, Prabhu, I'll just need to talk to you maybe tomorrow morning about, the schedules that we were talking about. Okay, so great. We'll go ahead and what verse are we on, please?
12.
12. Okay, yeah, we're in the concessions part. Okay, so I'll read this and the verse, and then we'll ask you to, that is Vaishnavi, to ask people to read some of the purport. Okay. Shreho hi Gyanam Abhyasaj Dhyanam vishishyate dhyanat karma pala tyagas pragach chantir anantaram. Translation. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. For by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. Hare Krishna. So I want to apologize for not having a waterfalls behind me this week. We'll try to we'll try to order one for next week. All right. So who would like to help on the purport, please, with the reading?
Michael, and then followed by Anuttama and Sweta, please.
As mentioned in the previous verses, there are two kinds of devotional service, the way of regulative principles and the way of attachment and love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For those who are actually not able to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, it is better to cultivate knowledge, because by knowledge, one can be able to understand his real position. Gradually, knowledge will develop to the point of meditation. By meditation, one can be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by a gradual process. In the cultivation of knowledge, there are processes which make one understand that one himself is the Supreme, and that sort of meditation is preferred if one is unable to engage in devotional service. If one is not able to in such a way, then there are prescribed duties as enjoined in the Vedic literature for the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, which we shall find it in the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But in all cases, one should give up the result of fruits of labor. This means to employ the result of karma for some good cause.
Thank you so much.
In summary, to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal, there are two processes. One process is by gradual development, and the other process is direct. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the direct method, and the other method involves renouncing the fruits of one's activities. Then one can come to the stage of knowledge, then to the stage of meditation, then to the stage of understanding the Supersoul, and then to the stage of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One may take either the step-by-step process or the direct path. The direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good. It is, however, to be understood that the indirect process is not recommended for Arjuna, because he is already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. It is for others who are not at this stage. For them, the gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, and realization of the Supersoul and Brahman should be followed. But as far as the Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is the direct method that is stressed. Everyone is advised to take to the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna.
God, thank you so much for our two readers today. And we're just continuing on here with the verses that express what you can do if you can't get to the top right away. The example is given there of the elevator. And it's a quick approach, A lot of people like to take elevators, and it can be fast. Except for the one that we have in Mayapur, up to the GBC office. Okay, one time Jaipataka Swami was stuck in there, for quite some time, and he's not in the best of health. Okay, so anyways, elevators are usually helpful, but if you can't, then take some stairwells. Sometimes it's a little faster. It could be a little fast if it's just 2 steps up. Okay, what Krishna is recommending here is that Try to cultivate knowledge. That's called jnanam, right? And then if better than that is called meditation, dhyana. So jnana yoga, and then dhyana yoga, and then finally renouncing things, which is sometimes recalled dharana, like of the eightfold yoga systems. That's the term that's sometimes used. But whichever approach we're going to take, Prabhupada makes a strong point at the end, if you may, if you picked up on it, try to go direct to him. Okay, so what does it mean to be direct? Try to think of the Lord as much as you can. And as is indicated in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Manmana Baba Mad Bhakto Majaji Mang Namaskuru Mam Evashasi Satyamte Paratijani Priyosime. So what that means, it says, love the Lord with all thy heart and all thy soul. Sounds like a biblical saying. Well, there's not much difference. There really isn't. So love Krishna. And we say that we quite directly. Love Krishna. You'll tell your children that, or your grandchildren, depending on what age you're at. Love Krishna. And then so they get the idea from the get-go that this is the goal of life. I have to love God, right? And they might not be able to be constant in that endeavor. That samadhi, which means a constant meditation of the Lord, is usually something that comes at a later stage. But we have to understand the goal first. That's really important. You have to know what you're digging. Let's say if we're a bunch of miners and we're given an assignment, I want you to dig gold. Okay, gold it is. Let's go for it. If it's coal, then it's coal. But at least know what you're looking for and get an idea of what coal looks like and what gold looks like. They're somewhat different in color. Gold is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and coal is Krishna. Maybe that doesn't sound right, that Krishna's, but he's dark in color. It's a beautiful dark hue. And so let us establish what is our target in the beginning, what is the objective, right? And try to get there by whatever means, whatever means on the yoga ladder, and that's, I think when any of you have climbed a ladder, by the way, I just want to say, anybody who's climbed a ladder, don't wear a dhoti, okay? That's my practical advice. Do not wear a dhoti, do not wear a sari, but a dhoti even is worse than a sari because of the pleat in the back, If you're a South Indian, then you have like a lungi style, and then that's a little different, But you still have to pull the material up in order to go to the steps. I suggest wearing pants, okay, if you're going up the ladder. And be careful about everything. But you can't, just like going up or downstairs. Sometimes we miss a point, like miss a spot, especially if it's in the dark. And then it can wreak real havoc. You can fall and slip, and a major problem can be there. Yeah, be careful when climbing up. I know one person in Scarborough who was climbing a ladder, and the ladder, he missed a step, and the ladder went backwards. I mean, it fell on him. So guess what he had to do? He had to go to the hospital. Okay, and it put him out for some time. So care has to be taken, even in the execution of devotional service. So concessions are given here once again. And the last line here, Chantir Anantaram. What does that mean? You'll gain peace of mind and by coming close to the Lord in the form of super soul. What else do we want to say? Prabhupada also breaks up, something. He puts a division in there. We have called, there's two margas or paths. One is Vaidhi Marg or Vaidhi Bhakti, and the other one is Raganuga Bhakti. So I think most of you know the difference between the two. Vaidhi Bhakti means just be obedient. Just don't be a pest. Don't be a just follow. Be submissive and be nice. Just kind of cooperate. And have faith that the process works, because many people in the past have become purified by knowledge of me. Krishna stating in the Bhagavad Gita, he said, and elsewhere he talks about many people have conquered over. That is the I'm just thinking about, it's not Kam Krodh Lobh, but many people have overcome the tendencies towards greed and lust and anger, and they have been successful. Ancients have followed this process, this practice. So have faith in it. Just learn to cooperate. And I think we talked about this before. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, Prabhupada's guru, said one way to define bhakti is just cooperate with Krishna. That's all. That's all you have to do. And nothing else is really important. How do we know what Krishna wants? Well, what are we doing every week at this time? We are looking at Krishna's directions, right? And so here he's showing his benevolence. He's showing his kindness, his compassion by saying, watch your step. And if you miss this step, at least get the next one, right? Just watch your step. And like the apartment where I'm staying in, there's a sort of like a low beam. And what does it say? It says, mind your whatever.
Headspace.
Mind your headspace or something. He's looking it up. Anyways, it's just caution low headroom. Okay. Yeah, or sometimes you see mind your head. Okay. Or if you get off an escalator or in those airports, they have they're real fast. What do you call it? Those, they're not trolleys, but you go on, you step up and you go real fast. Mind your step, like a robot. Mind your step. Mind your step. So Krishna's also more or less saying the same thing. There are steps, and mind every one of them. Okay. So, but know what is the goal, know what is the intention, and you do whatever it takes to get there. That's what it is. By hook or by crook. Do you know what that means? By hook or by crook? Prabhupada uses that phrase. Do you know what a crook means? I mean, in slang terms, it means like a gangster. Yeah. Like somebody who's stealing. A criminal, yeah. By hook or by crook, but actually it's an old English phrase that means you got to open up the bottle. Usually it refers to booze, or open up a keg with a hook, or with a crook, which is another device that opens up the elixir. Yeah, just whatever it takes. Get there, get to the goal, but don't cheat, don't take steroids if you're trying to run or, win the game, win the race, or win the game at the Olympics. Try to, you have to be honest in your endeavor, isn't it? Honest. The only time that Prabhupada actually, offers a little bit of a leeway in that area is that, like if someone's selling some merchandise and someone tells a slight white lie, the merchant says, oh, they cost me this much, but I will sell it to you for such and such. For you, I will make no profit because I like you very much. But usually the guy is sort of lying through his teeth to some degree. And that's the only time that there's a slight bit of dishonesty that is permitted. Okay. But Brahmins don't, let's say, offer this kind of, fibbing of any sort. Brahmins are supposed to be absolutely truthful to the T. And Kshatriyas, they also says, I'm making a promise, I'm making a commitment. Arjun says, I'm going to kill that Jayadratha before the sun goes down. Because he was responsible for killing my son, I make this commitment. And so they stick to their commitment. They don't go halfway through and say, oh, I was just under some influence. It's just, these are people, men of honor, who who kind of like stick to their commitments, stick to their vows, and stick to their promises, and they sign on the dotted line, sometimes in blood. I'm committed to this, and you by law you have to stay fixed, hard and fast. So the general principle is to abide by the commitments have been made, and that's really what I think the most incredible commitment ever made in the Leela of the Lord is when Vasudeva says to Kamsa, don't worry, the first child born to Devaki and myself, I will present to you, and you can do with that child whatever you wish, And even though he knew that Kamsa might fly off the handle and commit infanticide, kill the baby, still Vasudeva thought, I make a vow and I stick to my vow. And of course, probably in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I'll buy a little time, something will go. So I think that, being committed to something is really important. And once you start your spiritual life, stick by it. And why not? And Krishna offers all these different chances and opportunities, right? What more can you want? It's not like surrender to Jesus, or I'm sorry, let's say Krishna. Surrender to Krishna, and if you don't in this life, you'll go to a Kumbhipaka. You go to one of the lower planets, which is described in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam. No, it's not like that. The Lord is, not going to make that kind of commitment. He'll understand. He'll understand.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. You remind me of those Billy Graham days, and I used to see it on my grandma's TV.
Well, good old Billy. Good old Billy. He's a committed man, and I think amongst all the evangelists, he probably stuck to his word, his rule, and his family too. Like, we're hearing all kinds of, just the news is out about Southern Baptist Church, which is the largest of the Protestant church denomination in the USA. They're finding there's lots of trouble there right now, and let's say on the area of child abuse and stuff like that. So we have to be people of ideal character, right? And kind of like when you make a promise, you stick by that promise, And I personally like it when someone says, I'll be there in 5 minutes. They're going to come in 5 minutes, And they don't come 5 hours later. So I'm so sorry, my wife suddenly had a baby. It was supposed to be 2 months from now, but suddenly, whatever. Or the traffic. That's another one. The traffic. Well, you know what the traffic is going to be like. It's going to be all jam-packed. So why don't you think ahead, plan ahead, I mean, sometimes it can't be helped, but you have to start to know the world and become a little streetwise, right? Prabhupada was a little bit like when he was young, he was Calcutta streetwise, he understood a little bit what's going on, And so you just have to, know the world a little bit. Study the mundane world as much as we study the spiritual world. Okay, so we've got Ananta Sheshi who's got his hand up. Right? Would you like to honor us by making a comment or giving us a question?
Firstly, thank you for explaining about the hook, by hook or crook. That's something that I didn't know at all these years, just took it. Secondly, could you say a few words about what meditation means?
About meditation means?
Yeah.
Well, there's different forms of meditation. Meditation, if you look it up, is probably some concentration on an object or a thought. And so in our tradition, we concentrate a lot of mantra meditation, right? On sound, Shabda Brahman, spiritual sound, because that sound is non-different from the Lord. Another way of meditating is go in front of the deity. Like you go to the Alachua temple and you meditate in front of the deities, Radha and Krishna. What are they called? Shishi, Radha, Shama, Sundar? Yeah, okay. So you meditate on the deity. Another form of meditation is to meditate on the Leela of the Lord, just like we were talking about that event, the marriage ceremony of Vasudeva and Devaki. You can meditate on those details and you become immersed in it. And you, to the point where this is so exhilarating, it's so exciting, so thrilling. It's a thriller, you know, before the Lord is born. It's actually, it could be labeled as a thriller. You know? It'll knock off your socks. And so you meditate on the pastime of the Lord, right? Another way of meditation is this prasadam, this halava with lots of sugar and butter in it. And I'm just knocking the Neil here of Ryan behind here because he's a halava baba, you know, he's a bloodhound for this. And so when you concentrate, this is prashad, it's consumed by the Lord. And I will get some purification, some purging will take place. So that kind of meditation, you know. Or what about meditating on one of the lines from the Bhagavad Gita? Man mana bhava mat bhakto sarva dharman parit, or rasam upsukundiya, which is a little bit more like philosophical speculation. Krishna says, I'm the taste of water. So how do I understand that Krishna is the taste of water? Just to try to understand that. So when we take water, it's very nourishing. It's very fulfilling. It's kind of like the basis of all drink and food, isn't it? Water is the basis. So it's very satisfying. So you try to understand, well, Krishna is the basis of everything. Brahmano hi pratishtaham, for instance, he says in the Gita, I'm the basis of Brahman. I'm the foundation of everything. In fact, he says in chapter 10, you can look this up, Ang sarva shabrahmavo mata sarvam prabharatate. And Krishna is saying, I'm the basis, I'm the source of all that is matter and all that is spirit. And that covers everything. That just covers it all. So he's the source and not the force. Okay. I don't know if we covered your concern there, Anantashesh.
Yes, Mara, thank you.
I sometimes get carried away and I said, what was the question again? Okay, we got a question here by Ryan, who's breathing down my back.
How does knowledge become meditation? Krishna's saying, then just, cultivate knowledge of me. How does that become meditation? How does knowledge become meditation?
Well, cultivating knowledge, first of all, begins, get a good grip on who you are. You know, Aham Brahmasmi, I'm a spirit. And what else about that? I'm a little tiny little screw in the whole universe. And so I better, get screwed in tight and, pull up my own socks and get, do my dues. And then everything will run fairly smoothly. In other words, I'm doing some service. So if you get those kind of fundamental concepts down, then meditation comes a lot easier, because then you're saying, oh, this is the person that I have to be grateful for. This is the person that I must appreciate more than anything else. Krishna, the source of all. So cultivating knowledge brings us to the point of what we sometimes say, what is a Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, the Brahma Bhuta stage, which means that I am spirit, I'm not this body. So it kind of begins there. So by cultivating knowledge and coming to this level of realization, you slowly come to the next step. Okay, I should meditate on the source of the Brahman. So that's how it kind of ushers in, in that way. First of all, you're philosophical, and then later on you become devotional. Yeah, so what is the verse there in the Gita where the Lord says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Jnanavang mang prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samatmasadurlabha. Maybe some of you would like to look that up. Bahunam. Maybe somebody like Anuttama would like to help us. Bahunam, we just vanished. He entered into the avyakta stage. Okay, his head is there now. Bahunam janmanamante. So what does that mean? After bahunam means many. Janmanam, births. Ante, after many births of cultivating knowledge. Yanamang, mang prapadyante. Okay, so after cultivating knowledge, after a number of lifetimes, I will come to the point eventually where I will realize Vasudeva. There's meditation's going to be in between there. I realize Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the name of Krishna. It also means the cause of all causes. Yeah, and so that's how it works. So cultivate your knowledge first, if you can. But if you can get beyond that, just say, I like this guy Krishna. He's gorgeous, and he's strong, and he looks wise. He looks clean. You look at his face, and you see there doesn't seem to be any tinge of selfishness there. So you're drawn to him, and then you can start doing some service, and you can maybe skip something. But so that's.
Maharaj, it's chapter 7, verse 19.
Yeah, 7:19. Do you all want to take note of that? It is an important one. 7:19. Bahunam janmanamante. So after cultivating knowledge, you should get to the point of realizing Vasudeva. And probably meditation is in there. And somewhere along the lines and the different forms that we just mentioned. Yeah. Meditation can also be on the super soul, by the way. Meditating on the fact that the Lord is in the heart, and he's always my guide, always my director, always my well-wisher, not that kind of thing. Yogis are prone to gravitate to the super soul, but bhaktas tend to gravitate towards the original form of the Lord, Krishna himself, Bhagavan. Okay, anybody else have some questions or comments at all in regards to what we were just talking about? Oh, we got Murari Gupta all the way from flashy Miami. Probably he's in Miami Beach right now. Haribol, nice to see you. Okay, and we got Shashvata. Actually, we have quite a few Floridians. Okay, anything else? Otherwise, we can probably just go on to the next one and cover one more. Vaishnavi, would you like to get someone to indulge us?
Yes. Manasika, would you like to begin?
Krishna Advesta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna yevacha nirmamo nirahankara sama dukkha sukha sami santushta satatam yogi yatatma dridanichaya mayarpita manobuddhir yomat bhakta same priya. Will I continue, Maharaj?
Yeah, read the translation of the verse, and then someone else can help us on the purport.
One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me.
Very nice. Thank you so much. I just want to make a comment. So we've more or less left behind all the concessions, that Krishna has offered And now we're just getting to the main point, the main target, which again is let's get close to Krishna, right? And the way you do it is by adapting to this kind of mindset that is described in these two verses, 13, 14. Okay, so the purport then, or you can break it up.
Uday and Vasanta, can you both share the purport, please?
Well,
Sure.
well, why don't you give 3 people, at least 3 or 4?
Okay. Sashwata Prabhu, are you able to read or are you driving? I don't know. And Raj Khanna, maybe you can.
Yeah, sure, Mataji.
Raj is his name.
Okay.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Coming again to the point of pure devotional service, the Lord is describing the transcendental qualifications of a pure devotee in these 2 verses. A pure devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances, nor is he envious of anyone. Nor does a devotee become his enemy's enemy. He thinks, this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it is better to suffer than to protest. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that te nukampam su samano bhunjana evatmaha kritam vipakam. Whenever a devotee is in distress or has fallen into difficulty, he thinks that it is the Lord's mercy upon him. He thinks, thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far, far greater than I am suffering now.
Okay, that's great. Next person. Rasaraj, you were the line, right?
Okay, Maharaj. So it is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that I am not getting all the punishment I am due. I am just getting a little by the mercy of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is always calm, quiet, and patient, despite many distressful conditions. A devotee is also always kind to everyone, even to his enemy. Nirmana means that a devotee does not attach much importance to the pains and trouble pertaining to the body, because he knows perfectly well that he is not the material body. He does not identify with the body. Therefore, he is free from the conception of false ego and is equiposed in happiness and distress.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Next person.
Vasanta, are you ready to do?
Okay, Hare Krishna, Maharaj. He's tolerant and he is satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of Supreme Lord. He does not endeavor much to achieve something with great difficulty. Therefore, he is always joyful. He is a completely perfect mystic because he is fixed in the instructions received from spiritual master, and because his senses are controlled, he is determined. He is not swayed by false arguments, because no one can lead him from fixed determination of devotional service. He is fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord, so no one can disturb him.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next person.
Shashwata, if you're not able to read, Adhikata Prabhu, please go ahead.
Could you highlight it for me? Where's the end of that?
Near the end, all these
qualifications. He is not swayed by false arguments, because no one can lead him from the fixed determination of devotional service. He is fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord, so no one can disturb him. All these qualifications enable him to fix his mind and intelligence entirely on the Supreme Lord. Such a standard of devotional service is undoubtedly very rare, but a devotee becomes situated in that stage by following the regulative principles of devotional service. Furthermore, the Lord says that such a devotee is very dear to him. The Lord is always pleased with all his activities in full Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you. All the readers there. Yeah, so starting with the purport here, I just like what Prabhupada did for us here. He's saying, coming again to the point of pure devotional service. He already went through, the kind of taking the different steps. Sorry, that was my shiatsu physiotherapist who's trying to call in. So Krishna's talking about the different concessions, but now it's time to get back to the main point. Let's get to loving God. Let's get to loving Krishna. And here's how you do it. You have to have a certain attitude about you that will earn that position, or for it to become materialized. And then the verse ends with, if you end up with these kind of qualities, then you're very dear to me. If you want a sneak peek to the next verse, it's also the same kind of thing, very dear to me. Now, I like the inner monologue here. It's very nice, you know. Let's just reread it once again. Thanks to my past misdeeds, I should suffer far greater than I am suffering now. So it is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord that I am not getting all the punishment I am due. I'm just getting a little by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nice stuff, isn't it? You can't get better in having, that's the most wholesome attitude anybody could ever have. Now, let us address what's happening to a lot of people today. I'm talking about younger generations, you know, X, Y, Z, whatever. What is the problem with some of the attitudes there? And it could have been, there's always been there, but it's very prevalent now.
Blame.
Blame, okay. Blame, that's right. And what else? What do we call that? There's a certain attitude, certain demand.
Self-centered, ego.
Self-centered ego.
Lack of accountability.
Lazy.
Showing disrespect. Yeah. What else?
I know everything.
Lazy.
Entitled.
Entitled. Yeah, that's right. Orion was saying, you know, high expectations. Entitlement. That's the common word now, right? People feeling, I have my rights. You know, but do you have any wrongs? And the answer is yes. Do you ever look at them? There isn't much there. Okay. That's very ego based. So people feel in the kind of developed world, we're used to efficiency. You know, I remember being on a plane from let's say, was it Houston? Yeah, Houston, going to what's that? Somewhere in North Carolina, and then going up to Canada. So we were in a plane, and the pilot announced there was be a 10-minute delay. Okay. So then, you know what happened? There was like an uproar. Oh, and there are all these, you know, like people in suits and everything like that. You expect them to be out. You look like a gentleman. Can you act like one? And there was just, you know, this. They have these. The people are used to a certain level of efficiency. If something's broken, you can make your demands. I want it fixed right now. Okay, and there's no patience, you know. Another example at the airport, when there's some rowdy guys on one flight and Prabhupada was there. And yeah, they were just loud and noisy. And Prabhupada's servant at the time asked the flight attendant, could you please ask the guys in the back, just to simmer down a little bit and cool it. And so she did. But then they arose again. And then Prabhupada's servant was really upset. And he demanded them to change it again. And then he was just ready to get up. Prabhupada grabbed him by the arm and said, listen, you know, if we don't have any tolerance, we're not made up of tolerance and patience, then what are we? You know, I mean, I'm just paraphrasing a little bit. So in some areas, you have to be a little tolerant. You have to learn how to just take rough and tough times, you know. Maybe there's a big storm. There's a power outage, and it's in the middle of January up in northern Canada. And what are people going? Yeah, they'll have to do something, but they can't start blaming everybody and shouting. Says, I pay my taxes. Arr. Why don't you become a pirate then? Arr. I mean, it's really sad. And again, that attitude juxtaposed to what we're seeing here. If somebody is suffering a little bit, their attitude here is so meek and humble and so refreshing. Oh, I've done so many bad deeds in the past. I have, I deserve so much worse than what I'm getting right now, and that is very pacifying, just calming to the mind and to the nerves, just kind of live with it. As they say, suck it up. Just suck it up and live with it. And don't be such a spoiled brat. How old are you? Okay, 68. Okay, whatever. Can you act? Can you? And it's very common amongst North Americans to complain about everything when something doesn't quite go wrong. Or right, I'm sorry, right. Okay, so listen, thank you very much. We covered 2 verses. Well, actually, we covered more than 2 verses. We covered 3 shlokas today. I think we should pat ourselves in the back, for doing this. Okay, and it's yoga. Stretch yourself a little bit. Okay, and so now what we can do is go for what are we going to take away here from our discussion today. I hope everyone's taking at least mental notes, if not written notes with un stylo ou un morceau de papier. Okay, it's French, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. My attempt. That's good. Okay, so would you like to guide us here, Vaishnavi? You can go down to the frames.
Okay.
Now, we want to restrict you, because I am meeting some people in a few minutes, and so we just give us a sentence, and that's it. And then we move on. Please don't give me a big purport, or don't tell me the story of your life. We don't have time for that right now. Okay. All right.
Uday had his hands up, so they can go first.
So I had a question, but I will ask it next time. My realization from this session is mostly, if we are getting a direct opportunity to serve Krishna, that is more better than going through other paths like meditation, knowledge, and all those things. So yeah.
Thank you.
Find something to stay fixed on Krishna with, chanting, whether it be japa or kirtan. Just find something to focus on for Krishna.
Sorry, thank you so much. Very good.
Anuttama Prabhu.
If we are faced with misery, it's the Lord's mercy.
Okay, thank you so much.
If you miss a step on the ladder, then be more careful first of all, and if you miss a step, get back on the ladder.
Yes, thank you very much.
Arjuna.
Hare Krishna. I'll try to be more patient, especially on the road, because I tend to lose my patience. Patience, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Michael.
Watch your step.
Watch your step, right. Mind your step or watch your step. Very good. Yes.
I'm not sure if Gaur Chandra Prabhu is here. Then Rohini.
The saffron path. Saffron path.
Honest and patient.
I said the saffron path.
Okay, what about it?
It's the only way. It's the only way.
The only way. Okay, all right.
Rohini.
I've got some extra saffron I can lend it to you.
Honest and patient.
What is it?
Honest and patient.
Oh, to show honesty and be patient.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Vasanta.
Hare Krishna. Practice humility and attribute everything to Bhagavan, all your deeds.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Rasraj Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Try to become more and more dear to Krishna and our Guru Maharaj.
Okay. Sorry.
The verse Tatedu Kampa, that's a good verse to meditate on.
Yes, very good. Very good. Yeah, and get the translation down as well. Yeah. And practice it. Live it. Anyone we're missing here?
Krishna Maharaj. The verse Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto. So we have to think of Krishna always. Try to practice.
Very nice. Wonderful.
Just for
Hi, how's it going, brother? Hare Krishna. Hare welcome. Okay.
I'm sorry, can you give us the last one, please?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is from Mr. Prabhupada. So my instructions provided by the Spirit, just simply
Distractions. Okay, great. Anybody else we're missing on?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Bhagavad Gita way is surrender is Krishna.
Can you say that again? I missed it a little bit.
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita way is surrender is Krishna.
Okay, nice. Good. And did we hear from Anantashish, by the way?
Yes.
Yes,
he
I
said
said
that.
about the Bhagavatam verse Tatedu Kampa.
Oh, you did say that, right?
Okay.
And what about Vani Priya? Does she have something to say? She's an expert ululator, by the way. I went to the wedding, and the wedding was with like a mixed crowd, Indian folks and also Western, white body people. And the lady, the mother of the bride, she's from Bangladesh, so she started ululating real loud, and just people almost fell off their chairs. What's that? That's the sound that ladies make when they get kind of excited and they're in ecstasy. Okay, so we've covered everybody, I guess, right?
I think the host has to say something.
I am so happy and grateful that Krishna gives us options. Otherwise,
Options, yes. It shows his kindness, yes, right. Beautiful. Well, thank you all. We'll get together again next week and have some more fun. Because that's what it is for me, anyways. Okay, thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. Patitanam pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna.